Today, I would like to make a short response to the statement that is alleged to have been made by His Excellency the President, Mr. Edgar Lungu, in Lungu concerning myself and my colleague, Honorable Kambwili. However, in this little short video, I will not speak on behalf of my colleague because I'm sure he shall handle that issue by himself. I would like to start by saying that I have read the statement that was made by His Excellency the President, and I would like to respond as follows. First of all, I believe God brought me into Zambian politics in order to change the way politics is done. I've never ever believed that to be president of this country is a criminal offense. Neither have I ever believed that to be in the opposition is a criminal offense either. I believe that the politics Zambia craves for and wants to see now is politics where both the opposition and those in power can find common ground on every matter and every issue on the behalf and to the benefit of the Zambian people. I believe in a talking team between those that are governing and those that are being governed. So, yes, it is true that, like I've said on several radio stations, that I have found it necessary from time to time to call the president in an effort to raise an issue. When COVID-19 began, I called him, sent a message. I had no response. When ritual killings began, I called him. I sent a text. I've had no response. Now, when the China-Zambia relations began to sour, I did the same. On Africa Freedom Day, I sent him a message of congratulations. And on his birthday, I do those things because I would like to create an environment within this country where we are able to differ on policy positions, but acknowledge that we are leaders that are representing not our personal interests, but the interests of those people that look up to us for leadership. And this is why I'm in politics, and I'll continue to engage the president on matters that concern the country in the hope that he's not going to use those attempted communications against me or any other leader that tries to reach him on these national matters. But the president raised some real critical issues, and I hope that it is true that he raised them. But if he has been misrepresented, I would like to ask him to disregard those which he did, those things that he did not say. Very quickly, he accused me of playing to the gallery in the statements that I've made in the recent past. Nothing would be further from the truth. The point I've just made a few minutes ago, that prior to any big statement I make attempts to speak to the president in private so that we can make progress. And if those opportunities had arisen, some of the statements would not have gone out. But obviously, I'm a leader of an opposition political party. I'm a citizen of this country. And there are many issues that are of great and grave concern to myself. There's not one single statement that I've made to play to the gallery. I have no reason to do that. I'm not a politician per se. I'm a leader called by God to do what I do in politics. And therefore, I am not going to participate in the politics of name calling, in the politics of trying to make somebody look bad. I'm going to talk about things that affect me and affect the Zambian people, and in the hope that things could be improved. So I was not playing to the gallery at all. I also noticed that the president said that he, myself and my colleague, we sent texts to him and messages to him apologizing for the insults that we apparently could have heard at him during the day and then write to him in the night. I would like to believe the president was not talking about me because, first of all, there would have been no need for me to apologize because I do not insult, and I've never insulted President Lungu. Zambians are my witness. I've released several messages over time, and Zambians know that I am not going to be derogatory in the manner that I raise my concerns concerning problems in the country. As a matter of fact, God has blessed me with the fact that I have been in government before at a relatively high position. I do understand that speaking to power needs a certain skill. My desire is not to frustrate those in government. My desire is for those in government to listen to us. And the only way they can listen to us is if we do it with respect. And I hope I try by all means to do that. I don't shy away from raising serious questions, but I will not overstep my boundaries, because even when I was in government, President Manawasa kept saying that Mr. Sata must not stand on an anthill to make a point. He can come and discuss around the table. I think the President of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Lungu, must open up dialogue between ourselves and himself. It will avoid a lot of tension that is currently prevailing in the country. It will also help us to deliver to the Zambian people the things that they desperately need. May I confirm that I have not apologized to the President because I have not had any opportunity to insult him. First of all, I don't know how to insult. I gave my life to Christ when I was 17 years old. I've taught respect of one another, respect of leaders. And I've also known by the public ministry of 43 years of preaching the gospel on how to speak truth to power. The only reason I say what I say is to see Zambia saved, brought to a place where all of us can benefit. The other issue that has been raised by the President is that he said that he does not recognize me and the movement for multi-party democracy. Well, first of all, I don't really understand what the President meant by that. I personally recognize him as the President of this country. I personally recognize the President as the President of the Patriotic Front, and I respect him for those positions. I differ with him. I have differed with him on many things, but that doesn't take away who he is. I hope that the President will also respect me, that I'm a citizen of this country. He doesn't have to accept it, but he has to respect it, that I'm a citizen of this country, and that I'm the president of the Movement for Multi-Party Democracy. And there's only one MMD in the country. So if he says he does not recognize MMD, I'm not sure whether the President means that he does not recognize, first of all, the judgment of November 5th, 2019, which clearly declared that I am the president of the Movement for Multi-Party Democracy. So I do not know whether the President means that he does not recognize that judgment, but I hope not. There are not two MMDs. I just want to make it very clear. Up until that date, yes, there were those who claimed to be MMD, but that was concluded in that judgment. And that's what courts exist for, to create harmony, peace, and reconciliation, and let the country move forward. And in this regard, our party has moved forward. And so when the President says he does not recognize me, I think it remains for him to explain to us what he means by that. Does he mean that he does not believe in the outcome of his own court, the High Court? And he would like to believe that those who lost the case are the MMD. I'm not sure. And I hope that it was misquoted. But basically, I am comfortable myself that in case he does not recognize me, I know that God recognizes me as his child. He recognizes me as his servant. I know that the people of this country recognize me as a fellow citizen. I know that the Registrar of Societies or government of this country recognizes me as the legitimate leader of the MMD. I know that the High Court and the members of the Movement for Multi-Party Democracy recognize me as the president of the party. So I hope that I misunderstood the President on that matter. And the other issue that he raised, and I'll just say a word or two, he said that he hopes that I have learned a lesson. He thought I had learned a lesson from the problems I went through with MMD. The understanding that I get from that seems to imply that I was being taught a lesson, and now I must learn that politics is a certain way. I want to agree with the President. I've learned a lot of lessons, but the most significant lesson I've learned is that righteousness and staying on truth and being moral in the manner in which you face things, pays. We waited for 3 years and stood on the truth, paid the price. I was humiliated. There was a lot of pain that went through me and my team and the entire National Executive Committee, but we stayed with it. We shed our tears, but wiped them away. Yes, we suffered. I agree with you, Mr. President. I was taught a lesson. It was a good lesson because eventually I discovered that truth always pays off. After 3 years of being humiliated in the press, in the Zambian government press like Daily Mail, Times of Zambia, ZNBC, Daily Nation, we were insulted, lampooned from pillar to post. But after 3 years, we were declared victorious. And it's the same thing that I want to say to anybody that stay on the truth. God shall vindicate you. He has vindicated us. Now we have one movement for multi-party democracy. Those who went away have come back, except for a few people on top that were actually in court themselves. But for the most part of the membership of the party, those who had gone away and didn't know they were being misled, they are back. So there's only one political party. So yes, sir, I've learned a lot of things from that. It has made me stronger. It has taught me that, the politics we are exercising in our country today must definitely be changed. We must encourage ruling parties on the African continent and in Zambia in particular to respect other political parties. I was aware that a number of problems that we faced in the beginning were created because the PF gave support to the rebel group that went and created another leadership of MMD. But having said that, that's behind us now. MMD has reconstituted. We are getting ourselves ready for the job ahead of us. I would not say much, but Jesus was on the cross, humiliated for 3 days. He was in the grave. And for things he never did. People laughed at him, scoffed at him, and at his weakest, he said, "It is finished." And he died. On the 3rd day, he rose again. The MMD was ostracized. I was humiliated in the press, called names and laughed at, that I don't know politics, and I was told this is not church. This is a battle for the strong. We stayed the course. After 3 years, we emerged victorious. And we thank God for the judiciary for making the decision they made. To answer the questions of the president, I will continue to make efforts to reach out to you when there's an issue that concerns the people of this country. And I hope that will be okay with you. You may not answer me like it has been in the past, but at least I feel justified to address the Zambian people on all these serious subjects, especially after we have made attempts to discuss with government on those matters. I hold no grudge against His Excellency the President over what was said in Lungu. Our determination is to rebuild our country during this very difficult time for the people of our nation. I thank you, and may God bless our great republic.